chefs. Welcome to Kids Cook at Home, Mother's Day Brunch and Bake. Today we are going to be preparing something super special for that person who is always taking care of us in our lives, our moms, or for anyone who you really care about in your life. Today we have a delicious treat on the menu. It's a baked French toast with a yummy yogurt sauce. I know you're gonna love it, so let's go ahead and get started with 3 steps today. First, we are going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Then we are going to wash our hands, and then you're going to grab everything you need for step 1 of this recipe. So that's going to be the Texas toast, a baking dish, and non-stick cooking spray. So go ahead, pause here, complete those 3 steps, and we will get started. So for step 1, we are going to start by greasing our baking dish. So you can go ahead and do that now. Just going to give it a good spray all over. And then we are going to take our Texas toast and we are going to place 6 slices into our baking dish. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is all there is to that step. We are going to set this aside, and then you can pause here while you go grab a small mixing bowl and our eggs. Our recipe calls for 4 egg whites and 1 full egg. So we are going to go ahead and crack our eggs. I like to start working on the egg whites. That way, if we accidentally drop a yolk into our bowl, then we can just go ahead and use that as our full egg. And then I also have an extra container. I'm going to save my egg yolks to use for later, and then another container to throw away my shells. So if you're near a trash can, you can just go ahead and use that. Otherwise, you can pause here and grab a couple other containers to work with as well. So with the help of an adult, we can go ahead and start with cracking our egg. We are just going to crack our egg on a flat surface, and then we are going to push our thumbs into where the crack appeared and make sure we are over the bowl. And without letting our yolk fall through, we are going to just let our egg whites drip down and then work it back and forth until we have just our yolk. And then I'm going to drop my yolk into my other container and my egg whites here. And then we are going to do the same thing with 3 more eggs. So working them back and forth. There's 2. Three. And our last egg white. And if you drop any shells in there, that's okay. You can just go ahead and fish them out at the end. Get that little piece of egg white. All right, and then we are going to go ahead and crack a full egg. So same idea, but we can let the whole thing drop in. And then we can go ahead and toss away our shells. I'm going to store these in the fridge for later use, my yolks. And then anytime we're working with raw eggs, we want to make sure that we wash our hands after. So go ahead and pause here, make sure you wash your hands, and we will move on to our next step. All right, my hands are nice and clean. I went and grabbed a whisk, and we are just going to beat these eggs until they are nice and mixed up. All right, looking good. So let's move to our next step. Please go grab the liquid milk and the dry milk and a separate mixing bowl and meet me back here. For this step, we are going to start by measuring out our liquid milk. So you can go ahead and open up your milk. And anytime we are measuring liquids, we want to make sure we're using a liquid measuring cup and get down to eye level so that we know that the amount that we're measuring out is accurate. So we can go ahead and do that. I'm going to get down to eye level, find my 1 1/4 cup line, and measure that out. Once we have our milk measured out, we're going to pour it into our bowl. And then next up is our dry milk. So we are going to need 1 cup of that. Of 1 cup. Oop. Pour that in. And then we are going to go ahead and mix that together. And mix it until there are no lumps remaining and it's all combined. All right, and once that's all mixed up, we can go ahead and grab those eggs that we cracked earlier, our vanilla and our cinnamon, and we are going to add those all together. So you can go ahead and pause here and we will move on to our next step. For our next step, we are going to add all of these ingredients together. So we can go ahead and add our milk mixture to our eggs. And then our cinnamon and our vanilla. And then go ahead and whisk all of that together. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our bread that we prepared in that baking dish, bring it back here, and then that will be our next step. For this step, we are going to take this mixture and evenly pour it over all of our bread. Okay, and then we are going to pop this in the oven that we preheated, and we are going to let this bake for about 25 minutes until our bread is nice and golden brown. While our French toast is baking in the oven, we are going to mix up our toppings. So we are going to be making a yogurt and maple topping for our French toast today. It's going to be super tasty. So I have my 3 tablespoons of maple syrup and then Greek yogurt. If you have a larger container of Greek yogurt, you can go ahead and measure out a 1/2 cup. Otherwise, the single containers like this come out pretty close to 1/2 cup. So I'm going to use this. And I love Greek yogurt because if you have littles who maybe have a little bit more of a sensitive tummy to some dairy, Greek yogurt is going to be a great option because it actually has less lactose than regular yogurt, plus the probiotics in yogurt help break down and digest that lactose. So again, it can be a great option for those who may be a little more sensitive to dairy. So you can keep that in mind if you want to grab this for a snack later on, or obviously today we are going to use it within this recipe. So we can go ahead, your Greek yogurt might have a little bit of water on the top. That's totally normal. Just go ahead and mix that together. So I like to just give it a good mix. And then we're going to pour that into our bowl here. And then add our maple syrup. And then we're just going to give that a good mix. Perfect. That is looking good. So I'm gonna set this aside and then I'm going to cut up my strawberries. So you can use whatever berries you like or have: blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. But today I have strawberries and blueberries that I'm going to top my French toast with. So if you do have strawberries, then you can go ahead and grab those. Make sure you wash them under running water, and we are going to cut those up. If not, then you can go ahead and just skip this step. Okay, to cut our strawberries, please use the help of an adult with this step. We are going to start with cutting off the top of the strawberry. So make sure our fingers are away from the knife. We will cut the top off, and then you can really cut the strawberries into the size that you like or prefer. I'm going to cut them once down the center and then put them onto the flat side back onto the cutting board, and then I'm going to cut them one more time. And then the same with this half. So again, if you like them in a little smaller pieces, you can cut them again or cut it in half, but I think this is the perfect size for the top of French toast. So then we can go ahead one more time. We'll cut off the top, cut down the center, flat side down, cut it in half again, cut this half in half again, and then we will continue that with the rest of our strawberries. All right, and our strawberries are all cut up, so we can go ahead and set those aside. If you have other fruit and you haven't already done so, make sure you go ahead and wash that under running water as well. And then we are going to move to our final step of pulling our French toast out of the oven and assembling it. Oh my goodness, you guys, my house smells so good. I cannot wait to try these. So to assemble our French toast so we can eat them, we can just go ahead and scoop out a piece. Mine are nice and crispy on the top. And then we can go ahead and drizzle some of our topping. Yummy. And our fruit, of course. Yum, yum, yum. And there you have it, your very own baked French toast made with lots of love for Mother's Day. And if you're feeling inspired, we've included 2 bonus brunch-themed recipes at the bottom of the setup guide. Both of the recipes are super simple to make, so you can continue the fun today or save them for a later time. And before we say goodbye, I want to say thank you to our sponsor for this class, Midwest Dairy. Without them, this class would not be possible. And also, don't forget to fill out our survey. We love to hear what you think. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Plus, if you fill out that survey, you'll be entered in a drawing for a chance to win a $25 gift card to one of our stores. Thank you again, and I hope you join me for another yummy adventure at our next Kids Cook at Home class.